Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, you might consider subscribing. So the topic for today's video is the next guitar building project. Now in the last episode, I finished the electric violin. So I've put that project away and now I'm ready to start on the next build. And I think what I have planned is going to be really interesting. It's going to be a solid body 6-string electric guitar, but there's going to be a few twists in its design and its construction. But I think the best way to understand that is to jump on the computer and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get started. Okay, so what I have here is a 6-string multi-scale guitar. And the scale length is going to be 27 inches on the low E and then 25 inches on the high E string. And then the neutral fret is going to be the 12th fret. Now the neutral fret can be really any fret you want it to be, and you can kind of play around and select different frets to be the neutral fret and kind of see what the result is going to be. I've made guitars where the 9th fret is the neutral fret. I made other guitars where the 12th fret is the neutral fret. And I've even made a multi-scale where the end of the scale at the bridge is the neutral fret. And what that does, it allows you to use the bridge, or any bridge that has the faces where the strings meet the bridge all in line. So, but with this particular design, I've got the 12th fret as the neutral fret, which I like because it's easy when it comes to doing some of the intonation. At least that's what I think. I know others like to use the 9th fret and so on. So the other feature you'll notice is the headstock. It is a reverse headstock, and I like the reverse headstock. I like the design of them. I like the convenience of using them. I do them, both ways. But for this build, I thought I would stick with doing a reverse headstock design and this kind of cool shape along the top edge of the headstock. I think that's going to be pretty cool. And then this headstock will be angled. It's not going to be flat or, a Fender style headstock. It's going to be an angled headstock. So I'll probably do the angle at around 10 degrees. We'll see. But what you see here on the screen is the plan that I've created for this, and it's not completely finished yet. I still have a few more pieces to do. I need to do a side view. And what my plan is, I'm going to offer this guitar, this plan, on my eGuitar Plans website, as well as my Highline Guitars merch store, which is displayed below the description for this video. In fact, there's links to both stores in the description for this video if you want to go check them out. But I'm going to offer a full-size, full-scale drawing, just like you see here. Of course, it will be complete, and it's also going to include the wiring scenario, which I will try to fit onto this page. And I'm going to try to take this one a step further than what I've done in the past with my guitar plans. What I'd also like to offer with this is a cut plan for templates that you could use if you're going to be making the guitar the traditional way with a bandsaw and a router and jigsaw and that sort of thing. So that's also going to be offered. But there's even more. I also am planning to offer the STL files for the body, the neck, and the fretboard for those of you who would like to make this guitar on a CNC machine. So a little bit more than what I normally do. In the past, I've never offered STL files, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start doing that with this plan. Now, I'm not going to be offering G-code because, as I've explained to people in the past who've asked, G-code has to be written for the specific machine you're using, the specific bits you're using, and the specific material you're cutting. So if I were to give you my G-code, it might not work for you, but you can use the STL files, and then you simply import them into a CAM program and make your own decisions about the bits and the tool paths and the feeds and speeds and all that stuff, and assign it to create your own G-code. And that's really how it has to work. But having those STL files, I think, will definitely speed up that process. Now, if you look closely at this guitar, you will notice that the pickups are humbucker pickups, which have been placed at an angle. Now, typically with these multi-scale guitars, you want to angle the pickup to mimic the angle of the scales. So your neck pickup is going to be roughly the same angle as the last fret on the fretboard. Then your bridge pickup is going to be the same angle as your bridge saddles. That can be kind of tricky and difficult to do because it's easy enough with the neck pickup because the angle isn't so extreme, but by the time you get to the bridge pickup, the angle becomes so extreme you have to offset the bobbins to a fairly severe degree, and what that causes is issues when it comes to sourcing and placing the bar magnet underneath the bobbins. So I'm just going to keep the two pickups at the same angle, which matches the angle of the last fret on the fretboard. And I very seriously doubt that you would be able to tell the difference between a bridge pickup with this angle and a bridge pickup that is at a more severe angle. There would be some difference, I think, but you know, with guitars, I don't think that that angle is going to be anything bad. Because the pickups are custom made for this particular guitar, I'm also going to include the STL files for the components, the bobbins and the base plate, so that you, if you have access to a 3D printer, you can print out those components and wind your own pickups. Of course, that means you're going to need to have a winder. Now, if you don't have a winder, you could probably, instead of using this particular pickup combination, you could probably use another type of multi-scale humbucker, because they are out there. Or you could use, as an example, you could probably use like a 7-string blade humbucker pickup, because then you don't have to worry about the strings lining up with the pole positions of the pickup. So, but I will provide the STL file so that you can make your own humbucker if you've got a 3D printer. And don't worry, as far as the process of making this pickup, I'll include that as I'm making this guitar in my video series. It'll be one of the parts. I will show you how I wind the bobbins and how I solder them to the lead wires and attach them to the base plate and all that kind of stuff. And that'll make it at least a little bit easier. Now, of course, I'll be using my CNC pickup winder to make the pickup, but you could easily use any kind of winder to wind these bobbins. They're pretty standard with those respects. And the pole pieces are typical humbucker Philister screws, and these pickups will use your typical Alnico 5 or whatever, Alnico 2, Alnico 4, or whatever Alnico magnet you want, or ceramic magnet for that matter. But it'll use a standard humbucker bar magnet, so that'll fit with this design. So now, as far as the electronics are concerned, I really haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm not sure. I'll probably just do a basic 3-way switch and then a volume and tone control. That's yet to be decided, but I'll figure out the shape and dimensions of the control cavity cover in this area. Now, as far as, you know, like tuners and that sort of thing, probably going to be like a hip shot locking tuner. I really like those tuners. Then I'll use stainless steel fret wire for the frets. But as far as like the bridge is concerned, what I'm going to be using is these single string guitar bridges. I really like these bridges. And what's cool about them is they have fine tuning capability. So I could get a coarse tuner for the headstock so that I could get the strings coarsely tuned really quickly. But then, you know, as you're playing the guitar, you can reach down and fine tune at the bridge without taking your fretting hand off of the frets. And that's a nice feature. So I think that's probably the direction that I'm going to go as far as the bridges are concerned. And as far as the electronics, like the pots and the switch and capacitor and all that, yet to be decided. Probably going to be 500K, either CTS or Bourne's pots. Those are the ones that I really like to use. Sprague orange drop capacitor. So we'll see. That's probably what I'll do. And, you know, like I've done in the past, I'm going to use a one-piece neck carved on the CNC machine. I'm thinking, you know, logically I would want to try to source a quarter sawn piece of maple. I do have a source for quarter sawn torrefied or roasted maple. So I may go in that direction. Fretboard, haven't decided yet. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do there. We'll see what I can find. A lot of times when I'm building these guitars, decisions are made on the fly, and I'll pay a visit to my local lumber supplier, and whatever they've got will inspire me to decide how this guitar is going to design, how it's going to look, how I'll finish it, all those kind of things. So we'll see what happens. But in the next episode, I hope to be a little bit further in the design, at least to be able to show you the 3D files that I'm going to create for this design. Because like I've done in the past, I'm going to do a full-size, full-scale 3D mock-up of this guitar so that I can make sure that everything lines up and is going to fit together, and I'm not going to run into any issues. That's just a nice way to ensure that I don't have those unexpected issues of frustration down the road as I'm building the guitar. Although this design is very simple, it's pretty basic in terms of its layout and design, and I don't anticipate there'll be any problems. And I have enough experience doing this to know, you know, where there would be problems if there were going to be problems. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But until the next episode, as always, you know, be sure to visit eguitarplants.com, the Highline Guitar merch store. Definitely try to give this video a thumbs up. That always helps, and it promotes the videos to other folks who enjoy guitar building as well, and builds this whole community. And you know, and if you think about it and would like to help out a little bit financially, you can always click the thanks button, leave a tip in the amount that you want. And I hope to see you in part 2 of this exciting guitar build.